Welcome back. Hope you're having an amazing day and thank you so much for being here. Now, if you've watched my beginner series videos before, I did a whole video talking all about foundation, like choosing the right kind of foundation for your skin type, your skin tone, and different formats of foundations and things like that. So if you haven't watched that video, I'm going to link it up on the screen, so please go ahead and check that out before you watch this video. I think the most daunting task after you choose your foundation is how the heck am I supposed to apply this on my face and hope that it looks like my skin, like really natural skin. Hope the color is right, the texture is right. Hope it doesn't look too makeup-y or cakey, and hundreds and thousands of questions like that. So in today's video, we're going to talk all about foundation application. The tools you need to apply foundation, what different types of foundations are, how you can apply them on your skin and make them look as natural and skin-like as possible, without it looking too cakey. So without further ado, let's get on with this video. Now, even before you start applying your foundation, it's really important that you prep your skin really well, because foundation needs something really awesome to sit on top of. Now, if you're someone who has oily skin, I would really suggest going out and getting a really amazing oil-free foundation primer. This will make sure that your foundation goes on evenly, and throughout the day when your skin actually produces oils, it doesn't make all your makeup melt off of your skin. And if you're someone who's on the dry side, moisturize the heck out of your skin. And I cannot emphasize this enough. My skin is like normal to dry, so I'm normal on some areas, and then a few places on my skin I am very dry, and if I have foundation on my skin and throughout the day, my foundation starts to tug and pull on those areas where my skin is dry. So to tackle that problem, there are a few things that I do before I apply my foundation. I moisturize my skin really well. I use either my Neutrogena Hydraboost Water Gel, which has hyaluronic acid. So what this will do is it actually takes moisture from the environment, from the air, and then puts it back into your skin, so your skin is constantly hydrated. If I don't use my Neutrogena Hydraboost Water Gel, I use my face oil, and this is the Tarte Maracuja face oil. Now, when it's like humid and a little like moist outside, I don't use this oil. I would rather go for a moisturizer, because this moisturizer like really dries down in your skin. And when I say dry down, I don't mean like dries on your skin. I mean it sinks in my skin better than an oil would. Like oil would still stick around on your skin, and you still feel that on your face. So if it's hot outside or humid outside, I skip on the face oil. I would rather go for a moisturizer instead. Now, if my skin is feeling extra dry on a few days, I tend to go for a facial mist. This is my Too Faced Hangover 3-in-1 primer mist, and this has, I've talked about this before, this is silicone free, alcohol free, and oil free. Now, even though it's oil free, it tends to do good things for my skin, and because I'm applying it before I apply my moisturizer, it's fine, it's fine for my skin. It just preps my skin a little bit before my moisturizer. So I just like to spray this all over my face, just gives some extra moisture to my skin before I apply my primers or moisturizers. So I'm just gonna go ahead and spray this on my face. It smells really good, and just like awakens and refreshes my face before I apply my moisturizer. Today I'm gonna skip on the face oil. I have used my face oil before in a number of videos, so I'm gonna link those down below. And of course I have used my Neutrogena Hydraboost Water Gel so many times in so many videos, so let's just speed up this process, shall we? Alright, so I can really feel my skin feeling hydrated and plump, because before I did those steps, I was feeling a little dry on my skin, so things are looking better now. Alright, the next thing is using an actual primer, and I tend to use the Benefit Professional as the primer on my face, but I recently decluttered my collection, and the one that I had was kind of old and I was running out of it, so I don't have a primer today. But like I said before, if your skin is feeling extra oily, or if you still feel that your skin is a little dry even after the facial spray and the moisturizer step, I would suggest going ahead and applying like either an oil-free primer or a primer that has oil, depending on what your skin type is. I don't have my primer today, so I'm going to skip that step, but because I already applied my facial spray, which also acts as a primer, and my moisturizer, I think I'm good for now. There are so many types of foundations and the application actually differs based on what kind of foundation you are using. Now, if you're someone who's a beginner, I have made a full-fledged video on how to choose foundation for any skin type, skin tone, skin color, whatever. I suggest you go and check that out because then you'll be able to really narrow down what kind of foundation you're looking for. But if you're someone who's a beginner, I suggest going ahead with a compact foundation, the powdered foundation, and then slowly working your way up to like a liquid foundation, a stick foundation, and things like that. For this video, I'm going to use a liquid foundation which I feel I'm the most comfortable with, and here's the hero, my favorite Milani Conceal and Perfect. I have used this in so many videos and maybe I wasn't clear enough on how I like to apply my foundation, so that is why I'm choosing this foundation for today. Talking about the tools that you need to apply your foundation. Now there are again so many tools that you can use. You can use a dampened beauty blender. I feel like this is the tool that would give you the most skin-like look on your skin. Skin-like look on your skin. Made sense? Or you could use a dense face brush like this. Now this is my Real Techniques face brush. Use it tons of times. Doesn't make your foundation look streaky or anything. Absolutely love this one too. There's another format of brushes which is like a brush like this. Again, solves the same purpose. Allows you to cover much more surface area than this brush would or the beauty blender. And the most cheapest, simplest thing that you could use to apply your foundation are your fingers. So when you use your fingers to apply your foundation, you can use the warmth of your skin to really blend your foundation in your skin and make it one with your skin. And it also makes it easy for you to, reach in those nooks and crannies and just blend your foundation all over your skin. So if you're not yet comfortable with using a beauty blender, a brush, or any of these other tools that I mentioned, you can go ahead and use your finger, which is absolutely fine. So in today's video, I'm going to show you like a few techniques to not only apply your foundation, but how can you make your foundation not look cakey, because I feel like that's the number one complaint that most of us have, that our foundation looks too makeupy or too cakey or all of that, which we obviously don't want. Now the number one tip that I can give you for people who struggle with really dry skin, and even though you moisturize and prime your face really well, your foundation still looks cakey and powdery and starts to disintegrate on your face, I would suggest mixing your foundation with a face oil. This not only makes your foundation go seamlessly on your skin, it will really like melt in your skin, look really nice, really natural. It will also make your foundation look dewy and glowy and fresh, and not in like a disco ball kind of way. It just gives you like a really nice and healthy glow on your face. So I'm not going to do that today because like I said, I already have a good amount of moisturization and priming on my face already done. So maybe I'll talk about this technique in another video. The first method of application that we're going to look at is using a beauty blender. So when I use my beauty blender, I first like to shake my foundation so that if ever it's separated inside the tube, inside the bottle, it all integrates and comes together. So I'm gonna take on the butt of this beauty blender, I'm gonna take like one pump. I usually do two because I do my entire face, but because we're gonna do this on one half of my face and just look at how it applies, I'm gonna do one pump. Now that we've had our foundation on this beauty blender, I'm just gonna dot this, and you could also use your fingers to apply your foundation before you go in with a beauty blender. This is just how I like to do it. I'm just going to use the beauty blender to just dot my foundation all over my face and neck. You don't have to use this exact beauty blender, okay? There are so many types of beauty blenders and beauty sponges in the market. Just Google it, go to a Sephora or whatever cosmetic store you have around, look around, and you'll definitely find tons and tons of kinds and brands of beauty blenders around. With beauty blenders, you just want to bounce it on your face. This might need some elbow grease, but I'm telling you, it's absolutely worth it. Just keep bouncing all over your face, and this gives like the most natural airbrushed finish, which I feel like no other tool can give you. Not even your fingers, no like high-end quality brush can give you. In my experience, it never looks cakey. It never looks like you have ton of makeup on your face, because what this spongy thing does is it only applies the amount that is required on your skin. If you have tons of foundation on this sponge, it's not going to like deposit it all over your face. It's going to take the extra foundation back into itself. I don't know if I'm making sense, but I hope I am. Bounce it all over our face, and like you can already see, it looks absolutely natural, right? Doesn't look like I have ton of products sitting on my face. It just melts in my skin. I have never had any complaints whenever I've used a foundation with a beauty blender. Of course, the fault may be in like a foundation, but my beauty blender has absolutely never failed me at this. And it's not just foundation. You could apply any product under the sun with this beauty blender right here. You could obviously blend your concealer, blush, bronzer, highlight, maybe lipstick. You could do your eyeshadow with this. Possibilities are endless. It looks absolutely natural. Even when I look at myself close in the mirror, I don't feel like I have any kind of makeup on my skin. It doesn't look makeupy, doesn't look cakey. And if you look at this beauty blender, it has all of the extra foundation deposited back in itself. Also, if you feel like your foundation tends to look cakey, I would suggest going with a little bit of foundation. Most of the times, foundations look cakey if you apply more than you actually need. So be very mindful of that. If you don't want your foundation to look extra cakey or makeupy or artificial, whatever, you know, start with a small amount and then you can build over it for the most natural looking finish ever. And if you compare it to the other side of my face, I don't see a hell lot of difference. Like, of course, because we have some product on our face, there's some like color difference here, but other than that, it's not too pronounced. It doesn't look too makeupy. Again, count the number of times I say makeupy in this video. And if you do add your facial oil with your foundation, I promise you, your foundation will not only blend seamlessly in your skin, it'll just give you the most natural glow and dewy finish on your skin. Alright, so for the other side of my face, I'm going to use my Real Techniques face brush. I'm not really comfortable with using my fingers to do my foundation. It's just not something that I do on a regular basis, but feel free to use your fingers. You could definitely achieve like an amazing finish even with your fingers, but because I'm not comfortable with that, I'm not going to like impose it on you. I'm going to take one pump of my Milani Conceal and Perfect on my brush, and again, like we did on this side, I'm just going to dot my foundation on my face and neck. And when you're using a brush for your foundation, you want to make sure that you don't use a brush which looks something like this. This has just a lot of movement in it, you know what I mean? So when you go to blend your foundation, it's not only going to look streaky, but it's not going to make your foundation blend seamlessly into your skin, and it's not like going to look one with your skin. You want a brush that is absolutely densely packed, has soft bristles so that you don't scratch your face, and it doesn't have a lot of movement too, so that's how you'll get really even kind of finish all over your skin. So we're going to start blending this all over our skin, and I just like to work with smaller portions and just like start to distribute this product. Now instantly you can see what kind of finish we're going to end up with using a brush. Now because the brush doesn't absorb product back in itself, the amount of foundation that I did apply on my face remains the same. So I don't know if it's that pronounced on camera, but up close I can really see how much product is actually sitting on my face. There's much more product on this side of my face as compared to the other side where I did use the beauty blender, because the beauty blender does absorb the amount of product that it thinks is not necessary on your face. Don't get me wrong, I'm not saying that a brush is going to give you like an unnatural finish. It's just like the amount of product that is going to sit on your face, so you need to be mindful of that. For me in person it doesn't look unnatural, so you know, I'm okay with that. Again, if you're not comfortable with makeup on your face, if you are just beginning with makeup, I would say start with a very small amount and then work your way towards the amount that you are comfortable with seeing on your face. Because my brush is so dense, it doesn't leave any kind of streak. It might not be as airbrushed as this side, but it's not bad at all. Alright, so this is the finish that we've ended up with. Looking up close, I can see like a minute difference between both sides of my face, but I don't think my camera can capture that difference. But I just wanted to show you the difference in the method of application when you use a brush and a beauty blender. You know, results may vary on the different types of foundations that you may use. I did go ahead and apply some concealer on my under eye and just a few areas that I like to brighten and highlight. But now it's time to set my face, and this also plays a very important role in if your foundation is going to end up looking cakey or not. Now the trick here is only set the areas of your face which you think need some setting. If your skin is already dry in some areas, I would suggest skipping those areas, because if you do have some drier areas on your face, the powder is going to kind of attach on those areas, and that's how it ends up looking cakey. So there are two ways in which you can set your face. The first way is to use a setting spray. Now this is the MAC Prep and Prime, which is also called MAC Fix Plus. Now this is a liquid product that you can use to set your face. If you don't want a liquid, you want a powder, I have two favorites. So I have the Maybelline Fit Me Loose Finishing Powder, and this is the Laura Mercier Loose Setting Powder. This setting powder is absolutely beautiful. It gives you the most amazing finish on your under eyes. It's just super amazing. For this side, I'm going to use my MAC Fix Plus and just spray it on my face. And I absolutely love this because the mist is really fine and it doesn't like settle on your face like huge droplets. So it's going to take a minute or two to just like dry down, and it's just going to lock my face, and nothing on this side of my face is going anywhere. For this loose setting powder, I'm going to take some of this on the cap. You don't need a lot, and you could either use the puff that comes with the Laura Mercier powder, or you could use a dampened beauty blender. So I don't have the puff on me right now, so I'm just gonna dip my beauty blender a little bit, you see, that much, and just like press and go. I know it looks like a lot, but as you keep pressing, because we're using a beauty blender, and even with the puff that comes with the powder, it's not going to distribute a lot, and I can instantly make out how smoothed out my under eyes look right here. So I'm going to take a little bit more and set the other places where I think I do need setting on my face. Now, if you want to skip both these methods of setting your face, what you could do is go in with a powdered foundation, which would not only give you a slightly added coverage, but also set your face at the same time. Alright, so I feel like that was a lot of chit chat for just one step, which is foundation, but I feel like it was important for me to just share the tips and tricks that I do for my makeup to look as natural as possible, because like a lot of people out there, I don't want my makeup to look like a mask or very unnatural or, you know, anything like that. If someone comes up and talks to me, I don't want them to look at my face and feel like she's wearing a mask on her face. It looks so unnatural. I don't want all of that. I feel you guys. I feel a lot of you guys are struggling with that as well. Your foundation melts off of your face. Your foundation looks cakey. All those concerns. So I hope this video was helpful to you. And if you have any questions or any concerns, please leave them down in the comments below. I make sure that I answer each and every comment in my comment section, or even personally, just chat me or whatever. Just reach out to me and I'm available to answer any questions that you may have. So I hope you enjoyed spending your time with me. And if you like this video, please give it a nice big thumbs up. Subscribe to my channel if you haven't already, and hit that notification bell to be notified every time I upload a new video, which is every Friday. And on that note, take good care of yourselves, and I shall see you in my next one. Bye.